What do you think's been your main developments in part of this amateur journey?
Yeah, I think just improving each and every single day. That's the main goal. Obviously, it's MMA, so you gotta improve in everything. You gotta improve in the striking, the grappling, the wrestling, and that's what I look to do every single day. I'm here at Extreme Couture, so I would say I'm looking to improve in every aspect that I can. I get good work with good guys, good sparring rounds, good grappling and wrestling rounds. So, that's the main goal, is to try to improve in everything.
Has the striking part always been second nature? Is it more like the other skills that you're trying to level up in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of comes natural just because of my family lineage. But that's another thing that I need to improve on. There's certain things that I do in striking that I need to get better at. So, yeah, it's the wrestling, it's the grappling. I would say that I wrestle and grapple a little bit more than I do just striking, but I try to just mix in everything.
Are you kind of getting used to the platform, and you're on the $1 Million show now at the end of the month in Washington? Is it kind of, are you getting used to that element of it as well?
Absolutely. My first PFL fight was for the World Championship card. It was the first fight on the card. That was at Madison Square Garden. I was about to piss myself before that fight. It was, the fight I had before that, I fought in a warehouse on a barn, and then to go from that to Madison Square Garden, it's a huge step. But each time I step in there, I get more and more comfortable. So I expect to be more comfortable in this next fight, and then looking forward, every single time I step in there, I look to be more and more comfortable.
Do you miss those sort of barn warehouse fights?
I kind of do. It was kind of cool. I thought it was pretty cool that
People might not know your surname.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool. I thought the venue was cool too. When I fought in Utah, it was pretty cool.
Are you aware of what your opponent Joe Lopez is like, or at this stage of your career, is it more about showcasing what you've been working on, the past months and year?
Yeah, I think it's more for me. I like to just focus more on myself sometimes. I haven't been able to see his last couple fights. I've seen his first fight. I know he likes to come out and bang, but that's great because I do too, and we're going to be able to give people what they want to see, and that's two guys that just go in there to fight. I'm really excited for this one. Preparing very well. Anything can happen in a fight. You can have a game plan, but if your game plan doesn't go the way you want it to go, then what, right? So I'm open to all possibilities.
With your family lineage, your brother Nico, people might have raised eyebrows that you went into the MMA route, but with what Francis Ngannou just did to Tyson Fury, the rumours of the acquisition with Bellator, Jake Paul signing, do you feel more vindicated that you're choosing, or you chose this path in MMA and with PFL?
Absolutely. I will always say this, MMA, I believe MMA saved my life. I believe it brought me closer to God. It's helped me in every single aspect of my life, including my lifestyle. I'm glad I've chosen this route, and to be honest, I just couldn't see myself doing anything else and enjoying it. For a long time, for a couple of years after football, I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And the only thing that excited me was to come to the gym and train, and I think that kind of said something deep down inside. So I'm super grateful for everything that's happening and everything that's going to happen.
What did you think of Ngannou's performance against Tyson?
I thought he looked amazing. Initially, when you watch some of his fights in the UFC, he kind of swings wild and stuff. You can't really do that in boxing, So to see how composed he was and just how sharp he was, it was awesome to see that, especially seeing him here at Extreme Couture, seeing Eric and his coach as well, or Eric in his corner as well. It was awesome. He made the MMA guys proud.
Yeah. Do you think there's an argument that, considering Sean Strickland won the UFC title when he really wasn't favoured to, Eric Nixick could be in line to win MMA Coach of the Year, but Dewey Cooper, considering what he just did with Ngannou and Tyson, maybe he could win or be in the running for Boxing Coach of the Year, but do you think that's, could be happening, and, what does that say about this gym?
I think it says a lot, I'm not going to be biased or anything, but I think Eric deserves it. Look at what he's done Not only did he help Strickland win the belt over there, but another one of our teammates, Manel Cape, he won as well. So there's just, he's such a great coach. He's led so many guys to victories this year, and I think he, of all people, deserves MMA Coach of the Year.
Do you think anything of the rumours that Deontay Wilder could have his MMA debut against Ngannou in PFL? Do you think that could be a good opponent for him? And could he surprise the MMA world like Ngannou has surprised the boxing world?
Yeah, obviously if you're gonna do that, just start wrestling and grappling, because that's a whole nother world. If you were to come to MMA, it's crazy. Like nowadays, you can see so many different fighters go across different platforms and stuff. So anything's possible. We never thought that the Francis Fury fight would happen. At least I didn't, but it ended up happening, and Francis looked great, and so anything's possible.
Is that the kind of advice you'd have for like Jake Paul? Because he's earlier in the year he said he was going to debut MMA later this year. I don't think that's going to happen now. Maybe that's being pushed into 2024. But when he does, is that the same sort of skills you'd give advice for him?
Yeah, to any boxer that's trying to step into the cage, wrestle and grapple and learn that side of fighting. But I don't think Jake's stupid. I think he knows that.
You talk about MMA as being your love, and that's where all your focus is. That being said, if you establish yourself down the line, could you see yourself doing big crossover fights at some point, or do you not even want to humor those ideas right now because you want to think of that? But with your lineage, your name, it makes sense down the line if you establish yourself as a great MMA fighter, that those crossover fights could be there for you in boxing.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know the future. Anything could happen in the future. Obviously that is a possibility to try some boxing fights, but right now I'm focusing on MMA. I'm trying to just get my record up. I'm still an amateur, haven't even turned pro yet, so right now it's just the beginning of my career, and I'm just looking to just go up and up and up and up.
Well, to follow up on that, I'm sure you get asked a lot of times. You say you're getting more and more comfortable in this is, I think, your 5th or 6th fight you're going to have with them. When will you feel that point that you're ready to go pro?
Yeah, God willing, I put this guy to sleep in November, and I'm gonna sit down with my coach and see what he thinks is next. I like to listen to him. I'm still a baby. He has so much more knowledge than I do. So and this is not a sport to rush in, but personally, if you were to just ask me individually, I think after this next fight after I get the win, God willing, in this next one, I think I'll be ready to go pro. But again, it's not just me. I want to see what my coach thinks and pick his brain a little bit.
Outside of training, are you still doing security guard or modeling? What's paying the bills these days?
Not anymore. After my fight, my last fight in New York, I came back home. I did one more week security, and then I ended up quitting. I just wanted to focus on my career. Getting off at 4:30 in the morning, it kind of messes up my sleeping schedule. So I'm very grateful that I'm even able to do what I just love and focus on what I love to do. And the people I worked with over there are awesome, and it was fun over there.
Hey Biaggio, since day one you said you were going to listen to your coach and make him make decisions. That's a very important choice because MMA is such an individualistic sport, right? So I guess what made you make that decision to let your coach take the lead?
I think just acknowledging that I don't know everything. I'm still a baby in this sport. I'm still learning. There's guys here at Extreme Couture where I just pick their brains on whether it's cutting weight, whether it's thinking during a fight, whether it's orthodox versus southpaw, anything. I always pick people's brains here. So I think just acknowledging that that my coach knows a lot more than I do. He has a lot more experience. He has, I don't even know how many pro fights, but it's a lot. So I'm gonna listen to that guy. I'm like Luke Skywalker and he's Yoda. So. That's the closest reference I can get to.
I mean, it's a pretty fantastic fucking reference, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Dennis Davis is one of the most underrated coaches out there, right? I guess just how important has he been to your journey?
He's super important. I'm so grateful and blessed that I have him as a coach. He helps keep me calm. You know, he makes it seem like going into a fight is like going to the grocery store or something very normal. And I think that the way he normalizes fighting and getting to that cage, because it's a anxious thing to do. You know, you got all these lights, you got everybody's looking at you. You got you're going into a cage and the guy's legally able to kill you, really. So he makes that feeling normal, and I think that it helps a lot with the pressure that I have, especially being who I'm related to and stuff. There's that little extra pressure, but yeah, he makes it normal, and it helps me stay calm.
And one last thing about being an amateur, like obviously there's a lot of spotlight on you, but how's it dealing with the naysayers in the comments saying, "Oh, PFL is just kind of like holding this guy's hand. He's an amateur. They're just kind of giving him easy fights." Like, how do you drown that out?
Yeah, I've been drowning that out since I was 14. You know, when people found out who I was related to, and I was playing football. I wasn't even in a combat sport, but people still said something. You know, so many different comments. I think sometimes I look at them and I just laugh because it's just like, if I'm bored, I need some kind of entertainment. But it's gonna always happen. It's actually just gonna get worse. So I'm just expecting the worst of it.
Yeah, honestly. And then finally, since your last fight, Sean Strickland did win the middleweight championship. How cool was that? Seeing him in the gym every day. Just what were your thoughts on that?
I don't think I've ever been more excited for somebody to win. You know, Sean has helped me so much. You know, he's such a, you know, he says a lot of out-of-pocket stuff, but behind closed doors here at Extreme Couture, he is the best teammate. He's a really good. He's looking out for everybody here, and he's willing to give advice to the people that he cares about, and he's helped me a lot. And yeah, seeing him win that, like, I was jumping like a kid. Like, I was so excited and so hyped for not only Sean but also the coaches in his corner. You know, Danny Davis Jr. and Eric Nixick. You know, they deserve that too, and we just all embraced it so much. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Does Sean have any weird nicknames for you? Because he always have, like, for him, he has like the chain. He's always pointing out the chain. Like, does he have anything about you that he's always going in on?
No. But there's one story. It was before I'm trying to think, because I fought 4 times this year. I think it was before my Atlanta fight. I did a sparring round and I got my ass whooped. It was really bad, and I just had an off day. And Sean came up to me and he was like, "You just got your lunch money taken. You just got your ass whooped. This and that." And I'm like, "All right, Sean, I get it. Like, keep going." And but at the end, he was like, "Man, you're an amateur. You're getting good rounds with good guys. You're doing great. Yada yada yada." So like a week passes by, and I sparred with the same dude, and I definitely won the round. I beat him up. And after the round, Sean was actually cornering me because I was in the cage for that round. Sean was cornering me during the rematch of my sparring partner. And after Sean came up to me, he's like, "You made your father proud." So, you know, he is a great teammate. He gives me great advice, and he's always looking out for everybody here at Extreme Couture.
And just one more fun one. You know, he already asked about the haters. Has there ever been somebody that's messaged you and you've read it and you're like, "This is actually pretty funny"?
Oh, yeah. There's so in high school, Bleacher Report did this thing on me and my brother. I was playing football at the time, and Nico was just getting started boxing. And yeah, there was one comment I saw where they said that I'm more like they said I'm more like Sylvester Stallone's grandkids than Muhammad Ali's because I look white.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was funny. There's always, people are funny, you know. That's one thing that's entertaining about it, is there are some people that are really funny and they can crack some good jokes.
Thank you.
Speaking on Nico, like he was, you know, in the line for like prospect of the year. One of top ranks rising stars just suffered a loss in his last fight. I heard this morning though that he's coming back in December. Have you spoken to him much in the last few months, and how's he doing? You're expecting him to come back with a vengeance and
Oh yeah,
recapture all that momentum?
without a doubt. In his last fight, there was a lot of adversity within his camp, I think, and even some days he came to Extreme Couture to work with James Gifford, which was his first boxing coach when he was an amateur, and he's my current striking coach. That's actually who I'm about to see right after this interview. But yeah, he had some thing going on in his camp, and going into that fight, you can kind of see it when he was performing, that there was some stuff outside that was affecting him. But he's with a great coach right now. He's having a great camp, and I expect him to come back and let it all unleash. I was talking to Nico. I was saying, the Floyd kind of made it a thing to have that 0 in your record. But if you're 25-0 and you're boring, who cares? But if you're like 25-4, you're the most exciting fighter to watch, then people love you. You got more fans and stuff like that. So I was just, after that, I was just telling him, it doesn't matter as long as you're entertaining and you put on a fight. Like that's, and now to just not give it to the judges the next time. Now to just let it all out in there and be prepared to die. And these are some conversations that we were just having after his fight, because he fought, I think, right after I fought, or right before I fought, or something. But yeah, we both had fights, and we were talking about both of our fights right after.
Yeah, it'd be good to see boxing kind of move on from that because I think in recent years we saw like Erickson Lubin lost in the first round by knockout, and then he came back, I think, put like 7 wins together, getting big prominent spots. Alexis Rocha lost a while ago, and then said that was like the making of him, and then he put in a bit of a winning run. So it's all about kind of what you do next.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about when you fall, you get back up and you get better. The fighting journey is a learning journey. It's not just sunshines and rainbows, I'm undefeated type of journey. It's not that. It's, you gotta be, when you sign up for this, you gotta be prepared to learn, to lose, and come back and be able to overcome that loss. So yeah, and even before I got into MMA, I knew that it's not gonna be all that. There's gonna be adversity, there's gonna be hardship, there's gonna be a lot of negative stuff, but it's just overcoming that. That's most important.
Thanks.
Just to chime in real quick, you have a lot of UNLV Rebels waiting to see your fight on November. Do you have a message for them?
A lot of who?
UNLV Rebels.
Oh, nice. Yeah, tune in if you want to see a nice little brawl, a good fight, and hopefully a knockout.
Thank
Cool.
you.